The jury convicted Murdaugh of shooting his wife and son at short range. Murdaugh's life collapsed around him as prosecutors closed in on his drug abuse and thefts. Brian Entin on duty outside the courtroom. So much to get to, Brian. Your reporting's been incredible here. The judge said, and I thought this was telling, when will your lies stop? And you think about all of the things we have learned about the Murdaugh family that has become a true crime saga that no novelist, no movie maker could have ever invented. Are we going to ever know the full extent of Alex Murdaugh's brutality, depravity, evil?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Leland. You know, there are 99 financial crimes that still have to be prosecuted. So a lot of it may come out through that process. There's going to be other trials, even some in this courthouse behind me, because some of the crimes occurred in this county, Colleton County, South Carolina. There was another really striking moment with the judge, though, when you talk about the Murdaugh family history. When he was speaking today, he looked around the courtroom and he said, looking at the portraits in this courtroom, so many of them were people related to you, who prosecuted cases in this courtroom, who even prosecuted death penalty cases. And he said some of those crimes and some of those people that they sentenced to death were guilty of crimes even less severe than yours. So it was really just a harsh speech that the judge gave. You know, they worked together back in the day, Leland. He had been in courtrooms with Alex Murdaugh. You could tell he was almost personally touched by this and personally disgusted with Murdaugh.
And still through it all, as I watched Judge Newman, he had a reverence for the law and a willingness and sort of a desire to not become the story himself. You think about other judges who have made trials about themselves. Lance Ito with OJ probably comes to mind most notably. Let's listen to this soundbite, Brian, that you talked about.
But as I sit here in this courtroom and look around the many portraits of judges and other court officials and reflect on the fact that over the past century, your family, including you, have been prosecuting people here in this courtroom, and many have received the death penalty, probably for lesser conduct.
Searing, and we'll get to sort of his reaction to that with a body language expert a little later, Brian, but you brought up a really important point of sort of what justice is. He stole from dozens of people who he represented as a lawyer. He's charged now with 99 financial-related charges, 19 different indictments, fraud, tax evasion, money laundering, embezzlement, breach of trust with fraudulent intent, on and on and on. In a way, you can't have any more justice, right? He's going to spend the rest of his natural life behind bars. He admitted to many of those crimes on the stand. The other form of justice would be restitution for these people who he stole those millions of dollars from. He spent a lot of it on drugs. Is any of it left?
It doesn't appear there's a lot of money left that was his money, but the law firm that he worked for, his law partners, are having to pay some of that money back. It was so interesting. One of his former law partners was on the stand and actually talked about how he had to spend millions of his own dollars to pay back some of Alex Murdaugh's clients who had been ripped off by Alec. So you can just imagine how the folks at that firm feel. They're having to pay the restitution at this point. And back to the judge, you were sort of talking about his demeanor. It was so interesting. There was someone on Twitter that said, and this really resonated with me, I thought they hit the nail on the head, he almost sounded like a disappointed dad because he never raised his voice. He never got like outright angry, but you could just tell with everything that he said that he was just so disappointed that this man that he's known for a long time has ended up in this situation, and even really called him a monster at one point.
They say betrayal is the worst word in the English language, and there are certainly dozens, if not hundreds of people who feel betrayed by Alex Murdaugh. Brian, incredible reporting throughout it all for us. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.